Pre-hung doors come all ready to receive the door hardware. This is the bore hole, or the face bore. It's 2 3/8 inch back from the edge of the door, and this is the latch bore. And Jesse's correcting the latch plate mortise here. Something must have been off at the door shop or something, because it was not quite dialed in to receive this latch face plate. This sort of thing happens from time to time though, and Jesse was able to open it up with the Dremel. It's not the end of the world, but it did make the job take a little longer. I think there's over 25 knobs in this house altogether. Some of the other ones he used a utility knife to open up. After your doors are painted, try and get the knobs on ASAP, because if you got a worker there whose hands are dirty, then he has something to grab on and he's not grubbing up the freshly painted doors. I learned that lesson the hard way. If you've got double doors in your house, the knobs are done a little differently. This is a bedroom, so the door needs to be able to lock, which means we need a privacy knob on one side, and then the other side is just a dummy, which means it doesn't have a latch or anything. It's just the knob, and it's mounted right to the door, and then there's a strike plate that goes on to catch the other latch. If you have double doors on a closet like this, well, you don't need a lock, so you can just use 2 dummies, and then the doors get held closed by a ball catch at the top. Allie ordered an assortment of finishes for the knobs in this house, which I always thought was a no-no, but apparently I was wrong, because in this house we have got brushed brass, crystal, black, and then my absolute favorite is the marble. It looks and feels amazing. Emtek has lots of finish options for all their product, and Allie says it's perfectly fine from a design standpoint to have different finishes throughout the same house and even throughout the same room at times. Emtek gave us all the doorknobs at our spec house a few years ago, and they did it again for this house. Huge thanks to them. Look at all these cool finishes they have. Walnut, marble, terrazzo. So beautiful and intricate, and so many. Emtek also makes all these towel bars and such, and back during the framing, Jesse walked through here with me to, plan out the locations for these things. So there's backing for each of these towel bars to go into rather than just hanging on the drywall. The last piece of work I'm going to share from this whole project is the stair railing. First, let's go through the parts. These are the balusters. They could be made of wood, and they might be called spindles or pickets, but I think baluster is the most correct. They are being installed into the shoe rail or the base rail. Sometimes they'll go right into the stairs. These are called newel posts. This is what gives the whole system its strength. And you got to have these spaced out every so often. You can't just have them at the very ends. And at the top is the handrail. This whole thing has to kind of be built twice. First they assemble it and cut it and put it all together and make it fit. And then they got to take it apart so that the painter can paint this hemlock. And then it gets put together for the final time. This is Mike and Jesse doing the work. They are twins, as you can tell, and they've been doing this sort of thing for a long time. They started in the trades together as teenagers, and they've pretty much seen it all. It was really fun watching them work together. It was almost like they could read each other's minds.
I don't know, electrician was.
We are at the end of this process of building a home, and I'm telling you, it can be a stressful experience, even with a really good builder like we had. One of the things that helped us get through it was doing our best to make every decision as early as possible. Lots of them even before we started talking to the contractor. We had a lot of spreadsheets going with these things detailed out, and then Allie used Pinterest to gather photos of what she was imagining, and she organized it by room. That way, when we were talking to Mike or a subcontractor and explaining what we want, we almost always had a photo right at our fingertips and pretty much never had to make a decision in a rush. At the same time, we also deferred a lot of the decisions to Mike and really leaned on and trusted his opinion. Now, this might not work if you don't trust your contractor, but we did. So we weren't second guessing Mike's choice of, like door or window suppliers or the brand of the furnace or HVAC or caulking or which sub to use or whatever. We tried to just stay out of it. And I would recommend the same. If you're using a builder and he's good and he's got a track record and lots of happy customers, just take his advice. And if you don't trust your builder, maybe try to start getting rid of him as soon as possible to minimize risk. This is the night before move-in day. Allie's getting started here, unpacking in the kitchen. Her and I have moved probably 6 or 7 times in our 15 years of marriage, and we have a pretty good system. Her job is to load up and then unload boxes. My job is to then move all the boxes and the furniture, and it works out pretty good. It's kind of a division of labor thing where we're both able to do the thing that we're the most productive at.
Next morning here, and here's our first load. All right. Does it feel stable? Lee? We got no straps, but that's should be okay.
So stay tuned for a video or two about the landscaping and drainage on this property. Mike's job was just to build the house, and then I'm going to take over on all that outside stuff next summer. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep up the good work. We will catch you next time.
Do it again.
This is Kelly's special dance. I've seen her do that. Yeah.
It happens every day.
It's the best thing. Oh! I love it. I love it.